From the heart of the city, straight to your radio. Honest, intimate, real. This is where love gets real and real gets deep. It's not just talk, it's the Love Talk Show. Are you ready? Then let's dive in right now.
Smart, fool, or wise? Have you ever asked this to yourself? If when you started the relationship, or if you are already in a relationship, if you have been wise, smart, or fool? Well, a very good evening to all of you. The Love Talk Show is on air. We are going to talk about this. Andrea, my wife, is always here with me, and today is not different.
Yes, hello everyone. Always a pleasure being here with you, talking about intelligent love. And it might be kind of shocking using the word fool or foolishness, but you will understand better if you stay tuned. It makes all sense. So don't leave that place where you are at the moment, or make yourself more comfortable, because the Love Talk Show is coming in.
We are all included in one of them. Smart, fool, or wise, it fits to one of us. So let's pay attention to the topic, introduction, and we'll come back.
They say experience is the best teacher, but in the world of relationships, experience often comes with a heavy price and a broken heart. We've all seen the couple who fight the same battle for 20 years, the one who finally figures it out after 3 divorces, and the rare few who seem to glide through life with a love that only gets stronger. Today on the Love Talk Show, we are exposing the 3 ways people handle love, and the choice you are making every single day that determines whether your relationship is a sanctuary or a battlefield. Human beings are strange creatures. We often have a natural, almost stubborn preference for learning through pain. We touch the stove to see if it's hot, even when the person before us is screaming in agony. In 2026, love doesn't have to be an endurance test. There is a hierarchy of how people handle their hearts. And where you fall on this ladder dictates the quality of your future. We are going to dive into these 3 categories: the fool, who is stuck in a loop; the smart one, who learns the hard way; and the wise one, who moves with the supernatural foresight. To illustrate, we look at the stories we see in the headlines. For the first group, those who possess a rare, quiet brilliance, we look at Denzel and Pauletta Washington. Married since 1983, they didn't wait for the crisis to protect their bond. They represent the wise path, learning the rules of love from the start and building a fortress before the storm even hits. Then there are those like Robert Downey Jr. His journey represents the smart path, but it was a long, painful road. He had to hit rock bottom, facing the fire of addiction and failed relationships, before meeting his wife, Susan. It took an ultimatum and the suffering of his past to finally learn how to prioritize his partnership. He is the learner who found success, but only after paying the price of experience. Finally, we have the third group, often seen in the patterns of someone like Jennifer Lopez, who famously walked down the aisle 4 times. This represents the foolish path, someone who, despite having every piece of evidence in front of them, insists on repeating the same toxic patterns with different faces, expecting a different result every single time. They are repeat offenders of the heart, trapped in a cycle of their own making because they refuse to change the internal script. The statistics for early 2026 confirm that most people are choosing the most painful path, According to a report in the Gottman Institute, approximately 67% of second marriages and 73% of third marriages fail. A staggering number that suggests many people move on to a new partner without actually learning the lessons from the first. Furthermore, a 2025 study shared by Psychology Today indicates that while 80% of individuals claim they want a healthy relationship, only 15% actually seek premarital education or coaching to avoid common pitfalls. So I have to ask you today, which one are you? Are you a student of wisdom or a glutton for punishment? Are you watching the wrecks around you and changing your course, or are you speeding towards the same cliff? Stay tuned to the Love Talk Show. We are going to use a little humor and a lot of clarity to reveal how you can stop being the smart learner who suffers and start being the wise partner who thrives. Don't learn the hard way, learn the right way, right after this.
This is the Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.
And you could notice that this has been applied, or it's part of everyone. It doesn't matter if you are a very well-known person or if you are an ordinary person. This is happening with everyone. In the matters of the heart, we are all humans, and it doesn't matter how much experience you have or how much knowledge you have. If you are not applying certain things, you are not using certain teachings or certain tools that you have available for you, unfortunately, things sometimes are not going well. We had a few examples here in our topic introduction, and let's talk about the fool. Who is the fool? The fool is the one who insists in making their own mistakes. Is the one that let me learn with my own mistakes. I know that someone got hurt doing this, but I will do it different, and with me will be, I will not be caught up in the midst of this suffering or this anguish. I know that everyone who did it end up suffering, but I will try again. I will try because I know I've seen people who were getting involved with a married person, for example. They end up suffering and they insist in being that third person again. They've seen people doing something wrong, and they put themselves into that situation and expecting that with them, for some reason, will be different. And it doesn't make sense, because if we do the same things, the result will be the same.
And it's very interesting because I believe it's a common error or mistake. We learning with our own bad decisions or with the consequences of our bad decisions, because we always want to try. Oh, let's give it a try. Maybe it will work out. Maybe this time I won't commit the same mistakes, or that person will not be the way that people talk about him or about her. So giving it a try is not wise, is a foolishness. Because we were talking about this yesterday, acknowledging or recognizing the errors and the mistakes and the problems, avoid them through the signs, through whatever you have been seeing in reactions or actions, in order to avoid problems. And that's wisdom. And we, at the end of the program, we acknowledged and we've noticed that we can always prevent problems through acknowledging the signs and the red flags beforehand.
And we have the smart. Who is the smart one? Is the one who learns with only when they are suffering. Mm-hmm. Is the person that learns with their own mistakes. Is the one that, regardless of what they've seen or what they were witnessing, They only learn when they go through that problem. They could avoid it. They could, not going through that tribulation. They could not go through that Calvary. They could avoid that problem in their marriage, in their relationship. They could avoid it, but for some reason, they just learned with their own mistakes. And I believe, Andrea, there's a huge group that suits into this group because they don't do it by purpose. Sometimes they don't know it. For some reason, there was some red flags, there were some red signs, but they end up doing something that they did not believe so much. And they only learn when they went through the suffering or the problem.
And we do have, on the other hand, can we talk about the wise now? So the wise learns from others and avoids unnecessary pain. So this happens when we pay attention. This happens when we decide under the light of intelligent love, like we always mention here. This happens when, for example, I'm not being led by emotions like anxiety, insecurity, when I'm not holding on to traumas that I've been through in the past, because all of these combined and many other emotions might lead us to make wrong decisions, might lead us to decide by what we see, by the circumstances, by what we are feeling, what we are experiencing, what we lack. Do you know, when we are in need of something and we really pay attention to that becomes our inclination. For example, if I have been a single for so long, for many years, and all of a sudden, let me say all of a sudden, but someone comes up or walks in, enters my path, and I say, this is the one. Why? Because I've been so lonely, or I've been feeling so lonely throughout the years, that the person that comes, I don't acknowledge that there might be a problem. I don't think that maybe it's better for me to get to know this person better. And wisdom is not around. Wisdom is not there. It's not being practiced. And that's why so many mistakes sometimes are committed. So wisdom, again, learning from others and avoid unnecessary pain. When we look to ourselves and to others, the mistakes that were committed in the past and that resulted in bad consequences, we avoid the problems, we avoid the situation. Doesn't matter what we go through, we say, it's better for me to wait than to go through and then commit a mistake and regret it afterwards.
The Love Talk Show went outside and asked the same. Let's hear.
Straight from the people, straight to you. The word on the street.
Are people generally more inclined to make wise or foolish decisions in love? Can you give an example?
I believe people are generally I believe people are going to make foolish decisions. You see the rates of divorces, separations that are going on, because I think that was more based on probably decisions of the heart, letting the emotions get the better of them.
I think that people are generally more inclined to make foolish decisions, basically because a lot of people tend to judge things on our emotions. And when we feel something, we think, oh, this is good. But we need to use our mind because of past experience that I have experienced myself. I was more inclined about making that decision about, okay, I'm feeling this person more than thinking, where is this person going to do? Does this person have qualities? Does this person going to help me to grow as a person?
I think people would generally make inclined negative decisions when it comes to their love lives. Reason being because they look at other peers and they think, yes, they're happy, but then how do they know that they're really happy? Then they get involved in this situation and then they realize that they didn't make a wise decision. They just jumped in.
I'd say people are probably inclined to make foolish decisions when it comes to love. Again, it's the famous saying, the heart wants what the heart wants. A lot of people, it's so much easier to lead by emotions rather than like making a conscious decision of what's actually beneficial for your love life, and ultimately leads to things messing up.
Have you ever learned from someone else's relationship mistake, or did you have to experience it yourself?
Oh, most definitely. You learn from your own experiences when you make a bad decision. I've made bad decisions in the past, got myself emotionally involved when I know I shouldn't have. I wasn't thinking with my head, I was real thinking in my heart and emotions. The beauty of that is that you learn from your mistakes. I've been married, it's going to be 17 years this year. But to be honest, you still make mistakes and you still learn.
I did learn from someone else's mistake in their relationship, and for that reason, I was really clued up in myself that I wasn't going to get involved in that kind of relationship. Whatever relationship I was going to get involved in, it had to be right. So much so, the relationship that I got involved with, it lasted for 39 years.
I have my own experience of making that mistake, because as I was growing older and I see like my classmates, my friends, they were all saying, oh, I'm in a relationship. And because I wasn't in a relationship, I made that foolish decision and got myself entangled in a relationship, all because of being emotional.
Yes, I have learned from people's mistakes in the past when it comes to relationships. However, I've also had to learn some mistakes on my own. So even though you see someone else doing something and it ends up going badly, for some random reason, you think that, oh, if I do it, it'll work out. If you don't listen, you have to feel.
What's one mistake in love that made you feel foolish?
So one thing that made me feel really foolish in my love life was that I always thought to myself, because I had this persona that I know so much, I know everything. In my love life, which was now in my marital life, I felt I can take the lead. But then I realized that I'm not there to take the lead. It's my husband who's supposed to make that lead.
Okay, one mistake in love that makes me foolish is the fact that I left from my parents' house to go away to another city with someone thinking, oh, this person loved me. But it wasn't love. It was just using me for what they could have get from me.
What's something you do now that shows you've become more aware in relationships?
So something that I do now that's different to what I did before with my relationships was that I'm a lot more conscious now when it comes to mindset. So of course, I'm human. I'm going to see what I like. I'm going to be attracted to that. But at the same time, I don't allow myself to be led by that. So even though there's an attraction that may very well open the door, but then even through doing so, I want to understand if this relationship is actually beneficial for me.
The things that I do now to make sure that I'm not being foolish in making the decision in love is that I'm now taking my time, making sure that whoever I'm going to be going for is going to be able to add value. Also myself, I'm going to be adding that value. Also me letting go of those baggages that I had in the past and making sure that I don't carry into relationship that I will be starting in the future.
Well, I've made mistakes that made me feel foolish in definitely past relationships. I went with my emotions, I followed the crowd, and I never thought about it. Deep down in my mind, I knew it was not the right relationship. And then you end up breaking the heart of someone and you don't know what negative emotions it had. So when you see them, you feel foolish.
So something that made me more aware in my relationship, in order not to trip up on any mistakes whatsoever, I respected my husband. So whatever the values that he would say to me, whether or not I didn't agree, then it's a case that we could discuss that, because you're not going to always agree in everything, but at the same time, it's respecting. And that's something that I learned for myself.
This is the Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.
So you could hear what people say, and in the majority of them, they were even sharing their personal experience. It doesn't matter if it's good or not, it was their experience related to this subject. But we can learn even with what is wrong, because this is what wisdom is. We can see what others went through, and we can learn with them not to go through the same. And I think we can take many lessons from these street interviews where people are sharing with you what they went through, and we may learn a little bit more about this. So when we talk about fool, smart, and wise, we are talking about three different ways of approaching and living your love life. And the good thing of this is that if you were the first one, if foolishness was part of your decisions in love life, relationships, you can change this. You have always the power in your hands to change, because wisdom is not to be perfect, but it's a decision of what you are going to do and who you are going to be from now onwards. Obviously, that you will take the first steps. You won't have maybe all the strength in the world to do everything at once, but one step at a time, you will be walking towards to what wisdom is telling you that you should do. And this is where, Andrea, the results are coming from. When the fool says, you need, or the spouse says to the fool, you need to communicate better, you need to express better what you are saying. And the fool one says, no, I will not. And he or she knows what the consequences are of this poor communication, but they insist in doing exactly the same. They insist in being part of the same mistake, the same, the same problem. And you will not reap or you will not see different results out of the same reactions and the same things that you are doing always over and over again. So you need to pay attention to it.
So paying attention to the details, paying attention to what other people went through, not because we are accusing or because we are judging, oh, they are going through this and that, oh, I don't want to go through that. Yes, sometimes we say, or we even we were brought up in a household where we've seen lack of communication, like my husband was mentioning, and we tell to ourselves, I won't commit the same mistakes. But afterwards, we end up committing the same mistakes because we didn't learn anything with the situation, although we told to ourselves that we wouldn't do the same.
I think one of the things that makes this is when we take things as something granted, as something that is ours. So my wife is always there, my husband is always there. So people, they forget silly things. For example, they forget dates, important dates or important moments or important events. And people keep on forgetting this. And, the other one feels like I am invisible.
I'm being neglected.
Yes, or ignored. So, and then comes the problem. We may learn with it. You can be the smart one that you learn with this. But the best option, Andrea, will always be the wise one will learn with someone else's mistakes, and he doesn't have the need to go through the problem. But this resistance that we've seen sometimes in people, I want to commit my own mistakes. I want to go through I want to go through my own path. I want to do it my will or according to my way. It is the way that I think. And people don't see that they are jeopardizing themselves, their own well-being, and the well-being of their relationship.
But we do believe that, and we have seen that, because all of us, no one is perfect, and all of us committed mistakes, being once in a while a little bit of having a little bit of this fool type of person within us, or thinking that we're smart. Oh, I learned, but only after they hurted me. And okay, they end up learning, we end up learning, but we don't need to commit the same mistakes like Peter was mentioning. And even if you are listening to us and you acknowledge, I have been a fool, or I think I am smart, but at the end of the day, I end up suffering. The
scars are there, the wounds are there.
Yeah, the wounds are there, but they don't want to be like that anymore, and they want to start making wise decisions and including themselves in this wise population that is not a large number. Let's acknowledge that, but it's possible. And of course, you are there talking, Andrea and Peter, you are the wisest people on earth. We are not. We were included once in a while in this full and smart population, but we are trying and we are thriving for us to become better people, a better person, and for that to be reflected in our relationship. So it's always possible to become wise, but we need one simple thing that is not as simple in practice:
Humility.
humbleness.
Okay, so in summary, we have the fool that says, I don't care what others say or do, I will do it my way, and you end up sometimes suffering. We have the smart that says, okay, I learned, but only after I felt the pain. And we have the wise, who is learning with what others they are doing, and he avoids to put himself or herself in that situation and do it in a different way. So our question is, in which part, who this person, who I am in this scenario? Am I the foolish? I am the smart? I am the wise? Well, you can take your own decision, but at the end of the day, you can always decide from today onwards to be the wise one.
I can't deny all that I have done. I cannot repay. I made myself blind and turned my face away. How could I earn what I once had gone as lost? I don't deserve it now that I can see the way. All that I am is yours, my body and soul I give you. All I surrender, it's my sacrifice. Everything that I can, and even way beyond. All I surrender, it's my sacrifice. It's my sacrifice. I can't deny all that I have done. I cannot repay. I made myself blind and turned my face away. How could I earn what I once had gone as lost? I don't deserve it now that I can see the way. All that I am is yours, my body and soul I give you. All I surrender, it's my sacrifice. Everything that I can, and even way beyond. All I surrender, it's my sacrifice. It's my sacrifice. Oh, I give my mind, my soul, and body until I take my final breath. I give my mind, my soul, my body. All that I am is yours, my body and soul I give you. All I surrender, it's my sacrifice. Everything that I can, and even way beyond. All I surrender, it's my sacrifice. It's my sacrifice. Oh, oh, oh. I'll take my final breath.
Faith has helped me because it's allowed me to believe in what I didn't think was possible. In any situation that I go through, it's faith that gets me through it, because I believe that regardless of what it is that I'm seeing, there is a better outcome. On the outside, it looked like I grew up in like a happy home because I had both my mom and dad, my brother, but it wasn't. My very early memories was just of my parents having fights, having arguments. Sometimes I would get physical. They never seemed to like get along. So I learned to keep things in, because on the outside we presented as like happy family, and then inside the home it wasn't happy. So I learned that actually you don't show your feelings outside. You don't show what's going on outside. You put on a smile, and then at home you deal with what it is that you need to deal with. And because of that, I always like to like leave the house. So from a very, very young age, I would do everything to make sure that I didn't stay in the house. I would sign up to every after school club, just say that I could delay me going home. Kids my age would also stay out later, but that was because they were also going through the same things that I was going through. So we would bond over our problems. Nobody had any solution. We started to get exposed to things that we shouldn't have been, things that we were too young to know. I became somebody that was very insecure, and I became like a chameleon because I would try to blend in with everywhere. So at home, I would try to be the best child so that my parents wouldn't fight. When I was with my friends, I would try to fit in with them so that I would feel like I belonged somewhere. I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. So like if my friends were smoking, I would take a bit. If they were drinking, I would also drink a little bit too. If they were going to a party, I would also go to a party. Not because I genuinely wanted to go, but because I felt like if I didn't go, they wouldn't be my friends and I'll be alone. I remember like my first relationship, I was 12 and he was double my age. So I had to learn to grow up quite quickly. I had to be mature. I thought it was normal because everybody around me was doing that same thing, but that's because everybody else around me was facing what I was facing. I got pregnant and then I had an abortion and I had never told anybody about that. So we broke up and I was devastated and I was really upset. As time was going on, my friend invited me to a party. I was abused during that time. When it happened, I had passed out. So what that developed into was that I was scared of sleeping because I was scared of what would happen to me when I closed my eyes. So now I couldn't sleep well at night. I started to self-harm. I was going through a court case and I didn't know how to deal with it. So I would act out. So at home, I became very angry. I would throw things, slam the door. I became very disrespectful too. And there was this pain inside of me that I couldn't quite understand. I didn't know where it was coming from. So there was nothing that I could do that would make it go away. So I tried to do different things. So self-harming was one of them. I would take pills. Sometimes I would pass out. I would be in and out of hospital. So it became something to numb the pain. And then as time went on, I didn't want to live anymore. I also thought that I was a burden to my family. I thought I'm putting them through so much like heartache. So it would be best if I wasn't here. And it just got worse. Like I became a shell of myself to the point where nobody could handle me anymore. And from the age of 15, I was taken into foster care. And then I bounced from one home to another. And even then, I learned to be very cold because I just thought eventually you're going to leave me. Eventually, you're going to say, oh, you can't handle me, or Rhoda, you've got too much trauma or something like that. So I became a very closed person, very resistant, very bland. I would be bouncing from one home to another. I had a hatred towards my mom and dad too because I felt like they gave up on me and they just didn't want to be with me anymore. So for like almost 2 years, I didn't speak to my parents. I didn't have any future. I was referred to start doing counseling. It helped me to speak about the problem, and then there was no moving forward after that. They weren't ever able to give me like a solution. It was just talk about it. They wanted to give me antidepressants just to numb like the emotions and things. And I was just like, it's not helping me because I'm still feeling the way that I'm feeling. The day that I found out about the help center, so somebody had invited me to the church. I loved it. I remember really liking it because it was the youth group event. It was different because people were smiling and people were my age. But the one thing that made me stay was because I heard a testimony. I saw somebody who had been through what I was been through, and they were telling me that there is a permanent solution. She said, you're going to do a chain of prayer with me and just say exactly what it is that you want. But the catch is that you need to make sure that you're doing it with an open mind, open heart, and everything. And I said, I can do that. And the thing that I wanted was I wanted to stop self-harming that week. That's all I said to God. That entire week, there were things that happened that would have before made me self-harm, but I didn't do it. And to me, it just completely blew my mind. It ignited something inside of me. So I kept coming. And then there was a time when I knew that I needed to open up because I was using my faith and I could see that it was working. So this is a place that can help me. But I knew that there were things inside of me that I needed to say that I had never said. And I remember sitting with the pastor when he was just getting to know me. He said, is there anything else you would like to speak to me about? And I told him everything. After that, one-to-one with the pastor, I went to the altar. And for the first time in my life, I had peace in my mind. And when I could speak to God, I would believe that he was hearing me. And after that, when all was said and done, there was one thing that was holding me back. That was to forgive myself. Because I had asked for forgiveness from everybody else, but I hadn't truly forgiven myself. I forgave myself and I moved on. And in that moment, I was speaking to God. I told God, I'm choosing to give you my life. So if today I don't receive the Holy Spirit, tomorrow I'll come back. If tomorrow I don't receive, next week I will come back. Next month I will be here. Month after month, year after year, and I don't care how long it's going to take because my decision is set. I am going to stay here with you until the end. And in that moment, I received the Holy Spirit. There was not a shred of doubt, and it was peace. To receive the Holy Spirit, it was by faith. And it was by a decision to serve God for the rest of my life. After receiving the Holy Spirit, I could see that the way that I reacted to things changed. So now I'm no longer depressed. I don't self-harm. But most importantly, above all of that, I am sincere. I am who I am. I am myself. I am comfortable in my own skin. I can say this is who I am, and that's okay. I'm flawed, but that's why I need God. That's why I need the Holy Spirit. My life is centered around God. And because of that, I see God in everything that I do. And I see the hand of God in everything that happens in my life.
This is the Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.
You know, Andre, we're talking about wisdom, and often people are convinced that wisdom it's something that belongs only to a few people, and wisdom is not intelligent person.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom is not when a person has full of degrees. She has plenty of degrees and she is full of knowledge. Wisdom, you learn, with someone else's mistakes, and you try to take the right decision. The common thing that we've seen here in these real stories has been what people have done in order to overcome the sadness or the anguish or the problems they were facing, and they just went with the flow. If the flow is drinking, they are going and drink. If the flow is partying, they go and party. If the flow is doing something wrong, they just go and do something wrong, and they are convinced that sometimes that's the way to proceed. But they are not acknowledging what the end of it is. They are not putting the effort to understand what the end, what the consequences, what the results of this lifestyle has been. And this is what the wise one should do. Sometimes people hear us talking here, Andrea, and they say, but they are talking, but you need to see what the results have been. Daily, we are sharing with you what the results of what we share with you are. We are not only expressing what we think about it. We are sharing with you what people are achieving and the way they are, shaping their lives and accomplishing things they were looking for so many years, and putting simple teachings into practice, they could be able to help themselves and make their lives better. And this is not for a person who is full of degrees, has plenty of degrees. This is not for those who know about everything. They are included too. But wisdom is not only for these people. Wisdom is for those who are humble and they acknowledge, yes, the way that I've been doing is not working. Maybe I need to give a try to do something different in a way that will give me the result that, for example, gave to the person that we just heard.
And if we only talk about ourselves, because we always give the example, myself, Peter, because we came from broken households, but we do have the testimonies of people, common people like everyone else, like any of us, that in one moment in time, they decided to make a decision because they were sick and tired of committing the same mistakes, being full in love, relationships, or thinking that they were smart, but at the end of the day, making wrong decisions again. But they've decided, no, I have to stop this. I have to take care of myself. I have to forgive. I have to learn, or I need to learn how to forgive and how to move on, but in the right way. And today we have several testimonies of people that testify about something that they've decided to do, being humble and start learning wisdom. That's what we do, because we are learning wisdom in the love therapy.
So what is the next step? After you putting all of these into practice in your life, we have the love therapy that takes place at 232 Seven Sisters Road, 5 minutes away from Finsbury Park train station. And at 8 p.m., Bishop Alan will be started this seminar, which will, I believe, will help you to use the right tools in order to turn certain things around in your life and make your life better the way that you like.
I am complete in God. Is that confidence or something deeper? We live in a society that associates success, money, and recognition with being complete. True completeness, however, is not determined by our achievements or how others see us. So how can someone be truly complete in life, relationships, and in God? From the very beginning, God created us to be whole. Being whole isn't about boasting, being self-sufficient, or proving your strength. It's about a secure, unshakable trust in God. When you trust in Him, nothing in this world, not even betrayal nor failure, can take away your peace. Psalm 27 reminds us, "Though a mighty army surrounds me, my heart will not be afraid. Even if I am attacked, I will remain confident." At the last Love Therapy meeting, the 3 signs of a whole person were highlighted: secure in God, emotionally balanced, able to wait on God's timing. These 3 signs indicate someone who is complete, not because of what they have, but because of who they are in God. Many people define themselves by what they can control: work, money, or status. However, when we rely solely on ourselves or others, we remain incomplete. Consider these points: security in God, knowing your identity and worth in Him, and not in approval or achievements. Emotional balance, allowing wisdom to guide your heart and decisions rather than allowing emotions to take control. Patience in waiting, trusting in God's timing without anxiety or haste, and by not neglecting what truly sustains us: God's presence, guidance, and protection.
David said, "Even if my enemies and army encamp around me, I'm not going to be afraid." And you know that nowadays we say like this, life it's a war. But in the case of David, he was talking about real war. He said, even if war breaks against me, if war rises against me, he was talking about real war. If the enemies come and begin to shoot arrows and try to break my gates, he was talking about real war. He said, in this, I'm confident. In what? That God was his light, his salvation. So when we have our confidence in God, that's different, because it's not that we are proud. It's not that we are trusting something that can get corrupt, something that can fail. We trust the one that never fails us. He'll never leave me nor forsake. I know that no matter what comes against me, he gave the worst example that can happen to someone, war. He said, even if the worst thing in the world happens to me, I know, I'm confident that in this I'm confident that God is my light, God is my salvation. He will protect me.
So why do so many feel incomplete? Because wholeness is cultivated internally, not externally. Someone whole uses life's challenges to grow rather than to break. Differences in character and temperament become tools for growth and not reasons for conflict. Yet, impatience, fear, or emotional instability can destroy relationships. People who expect immediate results or who react uncontrollably risk disappointment and brokenness. But someone who is whole remains stable. They remain calm in the face of adversity, trust God, and are at peace with themselves.
If a person wants to be whole, she needs to deal with her past. She needs to deal with what is inside of her. She needs to deal with her pains. So, sometimes there are pains that it's even suffocated there. You don't even speak about, or you don't even, you don't want to go there. But if you don't go there and deal with that, bring to God, ask God for help, allow God to do his work in that specific area of your life. Because maybe God is already working in your life. God is already have done so much in your life. But there is an area that you are not allowing God to go there. It's like a restricted area in your life that here you don't allow God to go and help you. And that brings this instability.
All these things here demands work, and above all, it demands communion with God. That's why it's so important for you to develop your relationship with God and allow God to work within you, because he will make you confident. He will make you emotionally balanced. He will make you to be a person. He will help you to wait. You will trust. Right time, right moment, it's going to happen. Didn't happen, but it will happen. God will provide.
In practice, wholeness is a choice. It means trusting God even when life is uncertain. It means mastering your emotions instead of allowing them to master you. It means patiently waiting for God's plan and timing. It means prioritizing growth, peace, and love over pride or instant gratification. Like Jesus said to the Samaritan woman at the well, anyone who drinks this water will soon become thirsty again, but those who drink the water I give them will never be thirsty again. Many want to be whole, but few are willing to make the necessary effort. Wholeness isn't just a feeling. It's a decision, an intentional effort, practice. If you want to learn how to become a whole person in God's design, join the Love Therapy every Thursday at 8 p.m. at 232 Seven Sisters Road, Finsbury Park, London, N4 3NX. The Love Therapy, because true wholeness begins in God.
of a tragedy. Standing here with a fragile heart. See, I never shed a tear. I stayed strong for them. Oh, yes, I did. When everybody disappears, it's only you who keeps me strong. And I can't imagine going on without you in my life. Going on with a fragile heart. When I think about life, Lord, I think of you. I forget about everything else. There's only you and I can't think about ever giving up. Can't give up the fight. The only thing that matters, Lord, is you. I ain't got no time to pretend that I'm not missing you. Oh, no, 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 no. I know you're in good hands, the same hands that hold my heart, and I'll cherish every moment we spend as a gift from God above. For He takes care of all fragile hearts. When I think about life, Lord, I think of you. I forget about everything else. There's only you and I can't think about ever giving up. Oh, you're the only thing that matters when I'm going through. It's giving my fragile heart right back to you. You see, my fragile heart's been broken, and you're the only one who can put it all together again. So I'm trusting you, Lord, to see me through. There's only you and I can't think about ever giving up. I can't give up the fight. No, 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 no. The only thing that matters when I'm going through is giving my fragile heart right back to you. When I think about my life, I forget about everything else. Only you and I can't think about ever giving up. Can't give up. Can't give up.
This is the Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio. Real stories, real dilemmas, real solutions. Only on the Dear Love Talk Show.
When and how is the right time to talk about long-term commitment, marriage, or the future without creating pressure, fear, or resentment?
Well, I can share with you my example. I decided to get married with my wife. The moment that I understood that we were on the same page, that I understood how responsible she was, that she was serious with the same plans that I had, that the commitment for our goals was 100%. And obviously, when I saw that all these were fitting on each other, and this doesn't mean that we were perfect and our marriage was perfect, but it means that I had the assurance, the conviction that with her we would be a good team, and she was the one. Obviously, that is always a step of courage and a step of faith. It's always when you are starting a life together with someone else, you are always taking a decision of courage because you don't know what tomorrow is bringing to you. But until today, you have done your homework and you know that you fit your projects, your goals, your character, your vision, the way that you want the future. It's matching. So yes, we are a team that have a common goal, a common project, and we can progress. And 29 years, we are here to share with you that this is possible. Andrea, the Love Talk show is now at the end, but if this person wants to share with us their question, they can send it to
love@uckg.org, and we will be here to share with you the answer, the reply.
Well, may God bless you all. Tomorrow we are coming back at the same time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The days go by quickly. Various obligations, duties, problems to deal with. There are so many things that drain your time that sometimes there isn't even a moment to stop and reflect. You hear people saying that you need to change this or that, but you've never stopped to think as to whether they were right or not. You simply go through life thinking, maybe one day things will change, right? However, this way of yours has already made you lose out on a lot. People have abandoned you, problems have arisen. At certain times, even when with friends, you feel alone and empty. Now is the time for you to stop and reflect on your life and your actions. Now is the time to change. This Thursday at 8 p.m. at the Love Therapy, take this night to begin to heal the wounds from the past and learn how you can become a new person. Available in London only at the Cathedral of Miracles, 232 Seven Sisters Road, Finsbury Park, London N4 3NX. The seminars are broadcast live to our branches outside of London. For the addresses of these locations, visit uckg.org/addresses. For more information and to keep up to date with any special events, visit and follow our Instagram page at Love Therapy UK.
That's a wrap on today's Love Talk show, where every conversation brings you closer to intelligent love. We'll be back soon with more love, more truth, and more talk. Until next time, keep practicing intelligent love.